Welcome, listeners, to Well and Well Together. We are excited to go over gratitude today. So, what do you have for us, Jen?
So we were thinking about this topic, and it can go in so many different directions, but we don't really want to talk about gratitude necessarily as this fluffy, unrelatable topic today.
Sure.
We really want to get into it and help it feel real and tangible, and it is such a core value or practice to living a happy and satisfactory life, finding that meaning and purpose. So as we were thinking about this topic, I was reflecting myself on how I have this shadow side where I tend to focus on the negative, or I nitpick things, or I can get critical. And I've learned that that's a scientific known thing about us as humans, is that we are hardwired to look for the negative. So hopefully anybody else out there can resonate with me or also agree that maybe you do that too. But so we're going to get into that today and how gratitude can offset that.
So this idea of naturally, we're kind of pessimistic people.
Yes.
And then we have to learn skills to then bring ourselves out of that. Right.
Yeah. And I have had that shared with me before, where it's, why are you only focusing on the things that are going wrong right now? There are so many things going right. I'm like, oh, am I doing that?
Yeah. I'm excited for that because I do think, and we'll get into the positive toxicity and different things that we have as women and in our culture, but I'm excited to get into really practical, hard-hitting ways that gratitude can help us, ways in which we can operate.
Yeah.
Before we do that, so there's traveling. So, unpopular opinion to you. Do you think that people watching is done best at an airport?
I think so. I think you have a mix of people are stressed, or people are eating something, people are with loved ones or friends in an airport. You see so many dynamics happening at an airport. I do find myself going, I just make observations in an airport.
Yeah. I love that. Why I got the giggles is because my shadow side when I was a child is we have a runner when we'd see someone running to their date, which is so rude. I understand. Like, look, I've grown, I've matured, but we'd be like, we have a runner. That's what my siblings and I would say. And then we became the runners. Oh, talk about humbleness and humility. It is so alarming. Thank goodness we don't have to run this time. But to have to miss a flight or to make it to those changes, to have to run at an airport. So when you said stress, that was the memory that was evoked to me of, running. Then there's also different people who it hits hard where it's like, we have to be at this time, we have to do da. And then other people are like, I missed the flight, I missed the flight. And then we have people who are dressed to the nines, right? My grandma looks amazing anytime she's dressed. Like, it is out proper. She looks fabulous. She's got pearls on. She's doing her thing. Then we've got our generation who's coming scrunchy in their hair, sweats on.
Yeah.
And then we have people across the board wearing all sorts of things. I was going to bring to the table that I think it's most fun at sporting events.
Ooh,
because
that's
our
a good one.
best sells and our worst sells come out at sporting events.
Definitely.
And so that's what I was going to bring to the table. But you kind of swayed me with how you started that. So, unpopular opinion of this week. People watching at airports is best. Another one will be people watching at sporting events is best. And then there'll be room for you to add in what you think is best. So thank you for joining us for Unpopular Opinions. Let's get into gratitude.
Yeah.
I want us to dismantle positive toxicity for us as women, for all the listeners out there, but in particular us as women.
Mm-hmm.
There is a pressure to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a pressure to say everything is fine. I operate in my practice that the F word is fine. It's a great mask. It says, hey, I don't actually want to share anymore. But it doesn't get into the depth of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say I'm fine, that could mean I had a horrific day.
Yeah.
All the way to, chilling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And anything in between. And so when it comes to gratitude, I want us to really think through, how do we as women, how do we as humans say, I can find meaning in life. I see value in this. I can see beauty here, and start to find those deep connections to the world, those deep connections to humans, those deep connections to the space that I'm in, I have tennis shoes on my feet, or an awareness of, oh, I have braces. I have access to medicine,
Yeah.
right? Those are starting to build blocks that allow us to then smile, that allow us to then have joy,
Yeah.
that allow us to then rework our mindset and our brain.
Yeah.
And so I want to dismantle and say gratitude is not positive toxicity. It is not fake it till you make it, although there's brain science and how we can flex, and we'll get there in a minute to create gratitude. But it is not saying everything is rainbow and sunshine. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. And would you say an example of that is if you find yourself in a not ideal or bad circumstance? You're saying it's not necessarily going, I'm so grateful for the fact that I just lost my job, or I'm so grateful that I just broke my hand. it's less about that, and it's more about where else apart from that circumstance can I find gratitude?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got the
Okay.
giggles because that's masochistic. If I break my hand and like, this is awesome, come see me, that's a whole other, right? Like, yeah. And in all seriousness, that would need further mental health support.
Yeah.
Those two statements are true. Going back last week, I talked about my husband having cancer. I am not grateful for cancer. I have zero, zero, zero gratitude for cancer and how it operates.
Yeah.
And the effects that it has on humans, the effects and how it hurts families. That is true. 100% full send, that is true. Equally, I can say during that season, while acknowledging the hurt and the pain and the struggles there, I have deep gratitude for how my children kept life fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have deep gratitude for the friends that showed up and brought us meals. I have deep gratitude for the spiritual prayer life that kept me afloat during that time.
Yeah.
I have deep gratitude for friends that would just call me up and we'd go do something fun. I have deep, deep gratitude for the night after Nick came out of the hospital. His 10 guys, his other 9 guys, they called and said, can we show up? Because normally on Friday nights, once a month, they get together. And they said, instead of us going out to the bars, can we come to you? So they hung out and Nick had to hold a pillow on his stomach so he wouldn't laugh. So it wouldn't hurt the wounds. And that is deep gratitude to see these boys who have loved him for 15 years plus to show up in one of our hardest moments.
Yeah.
That's good gratitude.
Yes.
Simultaneously saying cancer sucks.
Yes.
F cancer. All those phrases that we use, fully embody those. And also, thank you, God, for friends. Thank you, God, for access to medicine. Thank you for food. Thank you for joy and laughter that brought up space for us to move left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and some of those.
You know, hearing you talk about that, it sounds like gratitude can be knowing this truth that we are sort of hardwired to find the negative and focus on the negative. It sounds like gratitude can be a mechanism that helps us regulate our emotions in stressful, hard, difficult, grieving times. Is that a jump to say?
No, that's accurate too. This is going to get a little bit nerdy, but now if we're talking about like dopamine and serotonin, gratitude can raise the levels, which are like think about like our happy feelings or the chemicals in our brain that allow us to have positivity, that allow us to have that breath. I'm even rising my body of like, okay, I can go do this. So gratitude allows us to say this hard thing is happening. So I'm not avoiding it. I'm not on the full depressive where I say nothing can happen in life. That's good.
Right.
I'm coming into the space of awareness of like, this is hard. And also I can see the light of day. And that marrying of that, my body then calms or my body then regulates and lifts in the sense that's like, all right, now let me go seize the day. All right, let me go put food on my plate, even though I'm walking through this hard thing.
Yeah.
Let me go smile and say hello to that person next door because I don't know their story.
Yeah.
Or it may be, but yes, it does. It brings us into a space neurologically that says, I can go and I can see there's positive, there's hope, there's something worth living and a forward momentum to move into. What have you come to learn about gratitude?
Yeah, I definitely do not have this down. I've noticed gaps in my life where I'm not doing this. I view gratitude practice like a small muscle to flex or like to keep training. That's how I think about it. Because even when times are hunky dory and I'm riding a great wave right now, it's like I do believe that I need to remind myself, even when it's all good, that I need to still be in gratitude. And I need to keep uncovering that in the good times and the bad. Because I think if I'm not practicing it when it's all good, when it does all go bad, I think to just like reach into the depths and like pull out like this gratitude practice that I haven't practiced, I think is harder. So I'm trying to remind myself and like stay grounded in gratitude practices or habits, no matter the circumstance.
Yeah.
Knowing that it will sort of serve as a tool that will help me navigate whatever is ahead.
As you're sharing that, I was just looking at one of the notes that I have on gratitude because there's a piece of me when you said if everything's going well, it almost humbles us.
Mm-hmm.
Or it humbles me in the sense that it brings me back to this place of relatability where it's like, oh, wait, I didn't do this all on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't get these accolades all on my own.
Yeah.
I am actually grateful for the forefathers or the women who've come before me, for my ancestors, for the people who have created the space for me to be seen.
Totally.
I'm grateful for the community that's wrapped around me. And so it brings it into the social communal being.
Yeah.
So I can say, oh, this is a we celebration.
Yeah.
When I'm at my highs.
Yeah.
And when I'm at my lows, I'm like, okay, where are y'all at? Because I still need you.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm deeply grateful for that community too.
Yeah.
And so community is so important. And then the other piece is when then I am in like a really hard pit of life, I now have practiced those things and their rhythms, my neural pathways. Again, I'll talk about those often of my body already knows what to do. I
Yeah.
can trust my body even when I'm in my head.
Yes.
And let's get into this because you do a beautiful job explaining embodiment is even when I'm in my head, I can come out of my head and into my body and my body knows what to do. My body will get me up out of bed even when I don't want to. My body will say, hey, go smile because we don't know the other person's story. And so my body brings me out of it. And it's almost this empathetic ritual and routine that says, I can do this even if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this idea of going from the mind into the body?
I sometimes wonder if it's a chicken or egg situation
Okay.
because I don't have the answer to this, but I'm curious if it's like, do I have to first, even if I don't believe it, even if I don't feel it in my body, do I first have to like, start saying it or repeating it in my mind, then for it to take effect and fully manifest in my body and really feel it deeply? Or do I have to really feel it deeply first and then I can like iterate on it and make it like a day-to-day practice? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe it's both.
Maybe it's dependent
Mhm.
on the season too.
Yeah.
Go into that and then I'll share.
I think there are seasons where it's harder for me to like truly feel grateful. I find that like it's not always I got this down and I feel it in my fingers, toes, and heart. You know, like I there are times when I definitely do not. But I think that there is a big difference saying something I'm grateful for or expressing thankfulness for something that I feel culturally pressured to be thankful for. And then something that I deeply feel in my bones grateful for. Those feel like different things. And when I feel it in my body, it's so much more genuine and deep and authentic. I think it feels differently. It's like you can try it on for size. And I think for me, embodied gratitude, even if you're making, the things that you're grateful for are a little bit different. Like what I might be grateful for in that example is those connection points might be a little bit different than what that person expects me to be grateful for. It's like, thank you for sending me that check for my birthday. And I'm more like, I'm so thankful that I have somebody like you that thinks about me on my birthday. The amount of money in the check is not really the thing that I'm as grateful for. I'm grateful that you exist. You thought about me on my birthday.
Yeah.
This person thinks that I'm grateful for the number on the check.
So for you, it's not the gift, it's the quality time or the thought.
Yes. In your own life, as you walk through life, where are those more genuine, authentic sources of gratitude for you?
This idea of force versus embodiment of how do I come to a place of deep gratitude, of thanksgiving for a certain situation, a certain person.
Yeah.
Think in my own life. And it's hard in the moment, which is why the third piece of this will be building out habits. But let's take, for example, I've shared that I have 2 children. Marcus is 4.5 now. Lulu is 3. When Lulu was born, she had breathing issues, rushed to the hospital, so many things. But through that, plus then my own body healing, plus then carrying work and hormone levels, I went through postpartum depression. And in some of those moments, if you were to be like, well, aren't you just so grateful that you have a child?
Yes.
Yes, I am so grateful I have a child. And also, please do not put that on me, because right now I'm feeling the tension of holding 2 children right now
Yeah.
that are under 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm about to scream.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Like, but I think that's what you're getting at, is like when someone's like, well, aren't you so grateful? Be grateful. That is a terrible learned
It's almost
interaction.
Is it projected gratitude or expected?
I think let's give benefit of the doubt. There's an intention where we don't want to see our friends struggle. We don't want to see our family members struggle.
Yeah.
Right? And so someone's like, hey, I don't know what to do here. I feel awkward. How can I help you move through this?
Yeah.
And so let's give benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I think there's good intention there.
For sure.
What happens though when it's forced gratitude, we miss the space that the other person's in.
Uh-huh.
We miss holding the magnitude of the struggle and not saying, hey, I'm with you. I would much rather someone when I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do, or I don't know why I'm feeling this way. You're right. I do have 2 beautiful babies and I'm so grateful for them. I am so grateful for them. And yet my emotions are flooding and everything's happening. And yes, I just spent the last 2 weeks in and out of the hospital, right? All those stories start to come out. If someone just sat there rather than, hey, aren't you so grateful? If there's like, yeah, I'm with you. What do you need?
Yeah.
That changes the dynamic.
Yeah.
And then I'm mad gratitude for you.
Right.
Where I'm like,
right.
saying you see me.
Yeah.
I actually see what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm so grateful for you. Now I'm grateful for my babies, because now my cortisol levels have decreased and my serotonin has come up. My body's starting to interact and coming into this place of regulation where I can then say, okay, I can do this again.
Yeah.
And now I have deeper gratitude for you, deeper gratitude for these babies. And please hear me say, with postpartum depression, there's so many different complexities to it. So I'm not saying that gratitude is the only thing I'll pull you out. Please talk to your doctors. Please reach out to a professional. I really do mean that. And you don't have to do it alone. You do not have to do it alone. So for the sake of this conversation, though, whether societal, other family members, or ourselves, where I'm in that same moment of discussing postpartum, there's so many moments that I can go back to and be like, Becca, just be thankful you have that child. It's like 2 in the morning, I'm sobbing and like milk's flowing, y'all, like it's ugly. I'm so glad I have the baby. No, it is like, girl, you gotta get to bed. Like, come on. And moments then became sacred.
Yeah.
Please hear me say that. It is a dance.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this force of like, I need to be grateful because I had this baby. Just be grateful. It was like, hey, how do I start noticing things around me? To bring down the walls, to come into my body, that embodiment, to then say from the depths of my soul, I am so glad that I have you, Lulu. I am so glad that we're here together. And she's one of my favorite humans in the whole world.
Yeah.
And I am glad I have her.
Yeah.
So it is deep gratitude for my daughter. It's deep gratitude for my son. It's deep gratitude for my husband being healthy.
Yeah.
And also, it wasn't just do it.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the right word, but it's not like you're not bypassing the hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey. First, we've talked about this idea of us dismantling positive toxicity, or this idea of gratitude being around all the time. So then the second piece of gratitude existing in a way that is biological, existing in a way that we can physically change our mindsets, that we can physically change our body. Then this last piece is this idea that we can grow and learn it. And Dr. Seligman, positive psychologist, gets into the learned behaviors of gratitude.
Yeah.
How it takes us into this place of, one, I don't have to do life alone. It shows me I am part of a greater community.
Yeah.
A greater ecosystem. So therefore I am within and I belong.
Yeah.
It also shows me that I have the strength to put one foot in front of the other. It also brings in fun. Gratitude can be so fun. And I'll bring this up. Like we just talked about hard. I want to juxtapose it now with deep gratitude. I have a friend who loves to make food. I'm not going to shy away. I love her cooking.
Yeah.
Like I have deep gratitude, and she blesses us by bringing us meals. And we bless her in other ways too, but like it doesn't have to be this grandiose thing either. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's a beautiful trip. We talk about having gratitude when we travel to a country that's not of our origin.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about having gratitude when we volunteer at a different socioeconomic place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, aren't you so grateful for a roof over your head? Yes, I am so grateful for those things. But let's take that and move it so much further into, I'm so grateful I got to have a conversation with another human today.
Yeah.
Because I got to be seen and you got to be seen. And we start to actually dance a dance.
Yeah. Dr. Martin Seligman is one of the founding fathers of positive psychology, and he really emphasizes the importance of gratitude as a key ingredient into living a happy and satisfying life. One of his concepts on gratitude is it's a learned habit. This idea of just like training or retraining your mind to look around you at any given moment and like find things that either went well or that you're grateful for. It's like, I'm so grateful that this chair is comfortable. It's
Yeah.
like, if we can't even do those little things, I don't know how fulfilling, real and deep our gratitude at bigger scales, bigger things can truly get.
Yeah.
If we don't start small, his whole idea is like we actually have to retrain and like rewire our brain.
Cool.
And I think I've found that really valuable in my own life. And I know when I'm not doing it, like the evidence of me not doing it is glaring for me.
Yeah. It's a mirror back. And AA does a phenomenal job at that. It is, what am I thankful for? So let's use the chair example is, oh, I'm so thankful that I have this chair. And now let me take a step further. I'm so thankful that I have this chair that is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me take a step further. I'm so thankful that I have 2 chairs here so I can now hang out with you.
Yes.
So now I have 3 layers of gratitude, even in the context of a chair.
Yeah.
So I've reworked my brain and my mindset.
Yeah.
To say, oh, I have 3 ways now where I can see positive.
Yes.
I have 3 ways where I can find meaning in life. I have 3 ways where I can see the sun shining.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of hard. And that's just with a chair.
Right.
Right? So let's say I'm in a place that's at tension with my job or exhaustion for my job. But I know I want to show up tomorrow. I need to show up tomorrow. And so there is this transition. I can start to rewire my brain.
Breaking it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way is like breaking it down so that I can build it back up.
Yeah.
And so I may not want to go to work, but I'm like, I have a job. Okay? I have a job that pays bills.
Mm-hmm.
Put a roof over my head. I have a job where I get to see that one friend and she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend at work. That's so cool. I'm not doing life alone.
Yeah.
And again, the more we do this, it starts to build those blocks back up of like, well, my life's not so bad.
Yeah.
And it brings us into a place of meaning. And I think it's so important because those of us who have gone through depression, had suicide ideation, or have felt alone, when we come back to meaning and beauty and finding things, and again, not at this superficial level of, come on, just feel good about yourself.
Right.
But of this, oh, yeah, that is worth living for.
Yeah.
Oh, that is worth smiling for.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how that person is. It brings us out of ourselves. For those of us that are older, one practical skill is today, look at something that is tangible. Maybe it's a chair, maybe it's a piece of food, whatever it may be. Say, what are 3 angles or 3 blocks in which I can build out gratitude
for that thing?
Yep. So just a tangible thing. This cup. Oh, I have a cup. I'm grateful that it's not splashing on me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm grateful that there's water. I have access to water.
Yeah.
Now I've just gone clean water. Now I've just gone real deep.
Yeah.
And that was because of a cup. I have a cup that's right there that's student strong.
Yeah.
Those are 3 things. So I believe it to be very important for us to trust the neuroscience, to trust the research behind gratitude.
Yeah.
And start implementing it because we need that in this world.
Yeah,
we need it for ourselves and we need it for community.
We do.
Another thing that I so appreciate about you is that we can go in the depth of life, and we've walked and we will continue to walk hard. We also can laugh.
Yeah, we
can dance. We go dancing, right? And we laugh with our hubbies because we've learned to do life together. And one thing that I appreciate so much about you is you have deep gratitude for the world and for yourself and for our relationship. So I'm not just holding all the weight of you.
Yeah. Cool.
And that is so important to me. So thank you.
Oh,
and
thank you.
to those of you listening, be that friend that exercises gratitude just like muscles. Exercise it so you can have the own strength to do what you need to do in life and find joy, find meaning, find beauty. And I'll do it for others.
Mhm.
Don't just be a leech. I'm going to call it what it is. People are starting
Yeah.
like, oh, Becca's a little cutthroat. Maybe. Maybe. But I don't want us just to be and the unicorn and rainbows. I want us to have meat to this to say, be a good friend.
Yeah.
Do the work of gratitude to come out of this high level, fake it till you make it, and into the depth of living life and even thriving. Because I can say our relationship thrives.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. We're not just surviving, we're thriving.
Yeah.
And so for me to have a friendship that's like solid, like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
what is a journal prompt that you have for us today?
Our journal prompt, grab a pen and paper. Think of one good thing in your life right now. One good thing. Who else played a role in making that possible? How did their actions, support, or presence contribute? And so I think this journal prompt was inspired out of a communal sense of gratitude, connecting to others. There's some other exercises we talked about today that you can do, but I think that this journal prompt really can help you think about gratitude and the communal aspect of it in your own life.
I love that. Let's do 60 seconds to center. Since you just talked about community,
Mhm.
you don't have to get comfy. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
And for those of you, you can do this when you're with someone. You can do it with yourself too, but this is a communal one. Often we think of like, dumb 5 things you're grateful for. That is a very important practice. I want us though to get out of just that solo one because often I think I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And so another practice of gratitude is communal. And it's saying, okay, at the dinner table with friends, whatnot, be brave enough to say, hey, I got a game for us. It might be cheesy, but I got a game for us. Knowing and trusting the neuroscience behind it, the people around you, whether they say thank you or not, will actually be lifted and elevated. So be that king or queen for your friends, elevate those around you. So for you and I, let's pick something. I'm going to pick this plant. Okay.
Okay.
What's something that you're thankful for with plants?
I think that they provide greenery and a sense of freshness around me. Like whenever there's a plant around me, I'm always reminded of life. They remind me of the freshness of life. And so I'm thankful for that reminder.
Love
in
that.
plants.
Love that. So plants lead to life for you. So then it would now be my turn. And it's hearing Jen. So this takes active listening. I now hear you say life. So now I have to think of something that I'm grateful for with life.
Okay.
And so it's like a add-on. Remember that back in the day playing on
Yes.
a trampoline or out in the backyard? And it's like, all right, I do this trick. Then you do that trick. Then
Yeah.
you do this. We are creating neural pathways. We are digging down deep. So then mine would be, okay, Jen said about life. You're grateful because it's created life. And so I would say, I love that plants give you life. Something else that gives me life is music. So then I start sharing a story about music for me. And then now you would go back and say like what music does for you. Or say there's a third person at the dinner table, like, oh, let me tell you about this song. And then it starts to create community
Cool.
that's based, and it all started off of a plant.
Yeah.
Which is cheesy, but it actually creates community and it creates conversation.
I like it.
And it brings us to a place of depth.
Yeah.
So.
And to hear your own, but then also hear in what other people are saying too, and be like, oh yeah, I am grateful for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not alone in that. Maybe sometimes I'll be like, I don't know what to say about a plant. And that's okay too. Then that's where someone else can step in and be like, hey, I'm grateful for plants because they allow us oxygen.
Yes.
And so it can go in all sorts of directions. I want us to be authentic in it. Again, if you're like, boo, Becca, that's too challenging, I just really encourage you to be brave. Try and push back past the ego. But if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for another fun episode. Be well, y'all. Have a great week. We look forward to seeing you next time.
See you.